Good morning. Welcome to our 4th of July celebration. Thank you for being with us today, and I'm really thankful for the cloud cover right now and a small breeze. So everybody watch the heat and take care of yourself, okay? I'd like to first welcome some of the elected officials that we have with us today. The Honorable Ray Felder, County Councilman Chad Williams, our council members Lisa McCarley, Larry Huntley, Chris Moody, Town Manager Dennis Pieper, our Mayor Charles Powers, and would like to thank Manning Kimmel with WRHI for joining us as well. So we've got a good program for you today, of course, with the firing of the cannons, which everyone enjoys, and thankfully we've figured out how to do it without breaking windows, so that's a good thing. We will start this morning with an opening prayer by our council member, Chris Moody.
Let us pray. Dear God, thank you for all the people who are gathered here today to celebrate the founding of this great nation. Thank you for the wisdom, courage, and strength of our forefathers. We ask you that you be with all those leading our nation today and provide them with wisdom. More bless the families of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice and lost their lives to protect our freedom. More be with those men and women in our military that serve to protect our freedoms so we can stand here today. God, we ask you to continue to guide and bless America. Amen.
Wonderful. Now we will have the posting of the flags by the Fort Mill Fire Department. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by our Queen Daisy Burroughs, our Strawberry Festival Queen. She's joined with Janine Bentz and Alyssa Ilagua.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see Trudy Heemsaw over there, so I want to recognize her as well. And now we will have our own Rhonda Costner sing the national anthem.
I want everybody to sing with me today, okay? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
How beautiful. Thank you so much, Rhonda. A very nice rendition. We will now have a presentation by the Fort Mill Elks Club, The History of the Flag. We have Sam Linowich, Pat Coyle, Sal Incorvea, Bob Aiken, Pete Seaman. Thank you, Fort Mill Elks Club.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here on this most patriotic day. Happy Independence Day to all. For over 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's strength and unity. It has been a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. The American flag has been a prominent icon in our national history. Today, the Fort Mill Elks welcome the privileged opportunity to share with you the highlights of a unique past. We've already introduced the Elks Lodge. I would like to give you the names of the Fort Mill Fire Department guardsmen that presented the flags today. Yeah, Andy Mosier, Miles Thurian, Todd Weisner, and Craig Heffley. Let's say thank you to them. Now I begin. The flag of the United States of America, its history. Heraldry is as old as the human race. The carrying of banners has been a custom among all peoples, in all ages. These banners usually contain some concept of life or government of those who fashion them. The evolution of the American flag marks the progression of the government of the American people. From the founding of Jamestown in Virginia in 1607 until 1775, the flag of England was the flag of the peoples of America. In 1775, the pine tree flag was adopted for all colonial vessels, and this was the banner carried by the Continental forces at Bunker Hill. The southern colonies from 1776 to 1777 used the snake flag. In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress appointed a committee to consider the question of a single flag for the 13 colonies. That committee recommended the design of 13 alternate stripes of red and white, with an azure field in the upper corner bearing the red cross of St. George and the white cross of St. Andrew. John Paul Jones, the senior lieutenant of the flagship Alfred, hoisted this flag to the masthead on December 3, 1775, and 1 month later, it was raised over the headquarters of General Washington at Cambridge, Massachusetts. In compliment, he wrote, to the United Colonies, this flag, called the Continental Colors, and the Grand Union, was never carried in the field by Continental Land Forces, but it was used by the Navy as its exclusive ensign, and was the first American flag to receive a salute of honor, a salute of 11 guns from the Fort Orange in the Dutch West Indies. In response to a general demand for a banner more representative of our country, the Congress on June 14, 1777 provided that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes of alternating red and white, and that the union of 13 stars, white on a blue field, representing a new constellation. It is generally believed that in May or June of 1776, a committee consisting of George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross commissioned Betsy Ross, a Philadelphia Quakeress, to make a flag from a rough design they left with her. It is said that she suggested that the stars should have 5 points rather than 6. This starry banner was first flown at Fort Stennis, called Fort Scholar at the time, near the city of Rome, New York, on August 3, 1777, and was under fire 3 days later at the Battle of Oriskany, the bloodiest battle of the Revolution. August 6, 1777, during a battle and a British attack. The first official salute to the Stars and Stripes was given on February 14, 1778 by France on the French coast when the Ranger, under the command of John Paul Jones, was saluted by the French fleet. This flag, then carried by the Ranger, was made by the young women of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, from the strips of their best colored silk dresses and the white wedding gown of a recent bride. It is said that this same Rangers flag was flown by John Paul Jones' ship, the Bonhomme Richard, in a thrilling flight by moonlight upon the high seas with the British frigate HMS Ceramus. It was September 23rd, 1779, a day which was to become known as the Battle of Flamborough Head. The American ship, The Bonhomme Richard was a converted French merchant ship about half the size of an English warship of the line, which were the biggest and meanest battleships of the day. Commanded by John Paul Jones, they were sailing east along the coast of England. When rounding Flamborough Head, they came upon the English frigate, the HMS Serapis, a newer ship of the line with all the new bells and whistles of the time. Quite frankly, if I were in command, I probably would have something like along the lines, holy cow, unless we get out of here fast, this is not going to be a good day. The Bonhomme Richard was no match for this newer and more heavily armed Serapis. But that did not deter Jones and his brave crew from entering battle for 3.5 hours. Both ships battled each other, with the Bonhomme Richard taking the worst of it. With fires and heavy smoke on the Bonhomme Richard, Captain Pearson of the HMS Serapis could not see through the smoke to determine whether or not the Bonhomme Richard had struck her colors, the flag, which simply means, are you ready to surrender? Believing that he had defeated the Americans, Captain Pearson leaned over the rail, looked down at devastation below, and with his megaphone called, and reportedly to have been said rather cheekily, I say, Captain of the American ship, have you struck your colors? But then, climbing up out of the smoke onto the higher quarterdeck, John Paul Jones, who had been severely injured in man-to-man fighting, found his megaphone, which was actually smoldering with fire and smoke, and replied, Sir, we have not yet begun to fight. When the HMS Serapis struck her colors, the immortal fame of John Paul Jones was ensured as the intrepid defender of the youthful republic. The original 13 stripes represented the original 13 colonies. In 1795, 2 additional stars with stripes were added to represent the admission to the Union of Vermont and Kentucky. Under this banner of 15 stars and stripes was fought the War of 1812. It was the sight of it flying over Fort McHenry on September 14th, 1814, that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what was to become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. The Congress on April 14, 1818, adopted a resolution that on and after July 4th, 1818, the number of stripes should be 13, and the blue field should carry the star for each of the 20 states of the Union, and that a new star should be added for each state thereafter admitted. Since 1818, there has been no change in the flag except that 28 new stars were added before July 4th, 1912, and this flag of 48 stars flew over the nation for 47 years, just before the Vietnam War. On July 4th, 1959, a star was added for Alaska, our first non-connected state, and a year later, Hawaii, our island state, added a 50th state. Our present flag, 50 stars and 13 stripes, is accompanied by the prisoner of war missing in action, the POW-MAI flag, to recognize the plight and demise of a special group of our armed forces, those who were prisoners of war or still remain missing in action. The Stars and Stripes, flag of the United States of America, the worldwide hope of all who under God would be free to live and do his will. Upon its folds is written the story of America, the epic and mightiest, noblest of all in history. What is the meaning of the flag of the United States? There can never be a definitive answer to that question. There are people in this world who see it as a symbol of imperialism. Others see it as a destiny of the people. But reference to these and similar views of the flag was resolved by Woodrow Wilson when he said, "This flag, which we honor and under which we serve, is the emblem of our unity, our power, our thought, and shape of this nation. It has no other character than that which we give it from generation to generation. The choices are ours. Only love, true love of our fellow man, can create peace. The emblem and token of that love is the stars and stripes of the symbol of the American way of life. July 4th, 1776, 241 years. We still remain the land of the free and the home of the brave. Happy birthday, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful lesson in history that we all should take time to bear in mind. Now we're going to have a very special presentation by Megan Rosner. She's going to sing a song called Heroes. Megan?
Hello, everybody. From the depths of Pearl Harbor to the fields of Germany, from the sands of Iwo Jima to the beach at Normandy. Thank God they saved our country and our freedom which to roam. God bless the special heroes that never made it home. They are fathers, sons, and brothers. They're our uncles, neighbors, friends. Just stop and thank these heroes for the freedom they defend. Our fathers, sons, and brothers, the valor that was shown. Just stop and thank our heroes before they all are gone. From the shallow Incheon Harbor to the jungles of Vietnam, from a hilltop in Korea to a river near Saigon. All gave some for country, some gave also young. God bless the grieving mother, her son never seen again. They are fathers, sons, and brothers. They're our uncles, neighbors, friends. Just stop and thank these heroes for the freedom they defend. Our fathers, sons, and brothers, the valor that was shown. Just stop and thank our heroes before they all are gone. From the towers in Manhattan to the barren Afghan land, from a compound in Benghazi to the Iraqi desert sand. God bless the wounded warrior for the courage that you show. We thank you for the sacrifice, for the pain we'll never know. They are fathers, sons, and brothers. They're our uncles, neighbors, friends. Just stop and thank these heroes for the freedom they defend. Our fathers, sons, and brothers, sisters, mothers, friends. Just stop and thank our heroes, heroes, all of them. From the snow-capped Rocky Mountains to the coastal surf and sand, a grateful nation thanks you for all that you have done. Thank God for the soldiers
Wow, it's hard to follow that. I don't have a voice. What a beautiful, beautiful blessing upon our day today. Thank you so very much. Now, I know you're all here just to see the cannons fire and to get to see Wormy do the honors along with George Reinhardt, but just a couple of comments. I've stood back here editing so I can cross out a lot of stuff. Happy 241st birthday, America. Woo! We are here to celebrate the unanimously approved Declaration of Independence, which was signed on July 4th, 1776. Anybody know the president of the Continental Congress at the time? Anybody? John Hancock. Anybody know who drafted the Declaration of Independence? Wow. Thomas Jefferson. There were 56 delegates to the then Continental Congress that eventually signed that document. 5 signed it and drafted it in the beginning. The youngest signer was Edward Rutledge, 26, a lawyer from South Carolina. I thought that was kind of interesting. The most quoted passage in the Declaration of Independence is about human rights and considered to be the most potent and consequential wording in American history. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. The Marquis de Lafayette, boy, I'm speechless today, said, "Humanity has won its battle. Liberty now has a country." Many write of freedom and liberty. Most acknowledge that freedom is not given, it is won. Our forefathers knew that it would be a battle, but they knew that it was right. As I read and reread the Declaration of Independence, the words one people, unanimous, equal, and decent respect seemed to come to me over and over and over again. And while these ideals may seem embattled at times in our country, there are times that they are the very essence that brings us together. We're here today to share and celebrate that unanimity. 1,429,995 men and women are active service members, standing on the shoulders and lives given to produce and protect liberty and freedoms for us all. May we think of freedom not as the right to do as we please, but as the opportunity to do what is right. Let us choose today to be one, unanimous, equal, and respectful. Let's celebrate the birth of our great nation for liberty and freedom for all. Happy birthday, America. I'd like to call up Mike Short, Steve Caskey, better known as Wormy, and George Reinhardt. These are our... Mike has fulfilled the role of making sure that we safely fire these cannons for as long as I've been living. And I'd like to thank Mike today. Chris, would you like to put that on him? We have secured medals for these folks to commemorate what they bring to our community and how they represent our love of July the 4th. If you would also place one on Steve Caskey. Everybody knows Wormy. Wormy's an icon in our community. He's a great guy. And George Reinhardt, who's been here forever. George, thank you. Thank you all for what you bring to our community, and thank you for assisting us today with the fun that we'll have with the cannons. This is important. This is the most important thing today other than our respect for freedom and our liberty and our birthday. Should one of the cannons misfire, meaning it doesn't really fire, please do not move about. Now, that doesn't mean that cannon's going to raise up and shoot you, but what it does mean is that it will be reloaded and prepared. It could take more than 10 minutes to do so. So for your safety, if a cannon misfires, please stay put. All right, are we going to have America the Beautiful before the cannon fire? Yes. All right, now we're going to have Billy Fox sing for us America the Beautiful.
Please join me as I sing. You sing with me, please. spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriots' dreams that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleamed, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Back to the first verse. Let's sing all again, please. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Shining sea.
Outstanding. We've had wonderful talent with us today. And now for the main event, the firing of the cannons. All clear. And I've got an all clear from Brown. We can go.
You want countdown?
All right, let's count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is that it? Just one? We're gonna count down that too. All right, cannon number 1. Good job. Brown? Okay.
All clear.
Brown? We're good? All right, let's count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Great job. Let freedom ring. Thank you, Mike Shore. Thank you again for joining us today. May you all have a blessed and happy 4th of July. Thank you.